I'm Paris Paloma. I'm here today with my wonderful director Georgie Cowan-Turner, who directed the Good Boy music video. And we're going to watch it and break down a lot of the process and the behind the scenes of it for all of you. Okay, let's play it. The title looked so great in the end.
Yeah, I know, I love it.
I wasn't here when they were shooting this, and I was so intrigued as well because you all came back from being in the urinals for like an hour or two. This was while I was getting my makeup done, which took a really long time because I was just getting all this white makeup caked on me. But anyway,
so these were our like
title cards.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to go for that sort of like gothic, like
so the main like styling inspirations for patriarchy was the Seventh Seal, the figure of death in the Seventh Seal, and Catherine Hunter in The Tragedy of Macbeth, when she plays all three of the witches, and it's just stunningly like grotesque and scary. Yeah, in this outfit, which was custom made by Bora Exu, who's like my guardian angel, commissioned by Leith as my stylist. And yeah, we wanted to go really Halloween-y, Nosferatu with the makeup, because the original idea to have a video that featured Good Boy, who is like this allegory, this like archetype of like the false promises of patriarchy, and then to have a personification of patriarchy, that kind of came from like Macbeth meets like A Christmas Carol, where it's like some personification of something. And also Florence has done a really wonderful video where she did Bill Nye as the personification of her anxiety, and it's obviously a really different toned video, but I thought that was done so well, and I just love the idea of playing something. Also having a woman like as the role of patriarchy is just really funny.
So like right before this we have our spoken word intro.
Yes.
And like that was one of those things that I remember like first hearing the song and I was like, okay, I love this. And then I saw like the Seventh Seal references and I thought, okay, this is so cool. And then it was also like you working
the Mad Men references as well.
Yeah, I know, and
you were like, I know.
I'll talk about Mad Men in a bit, but like if anyone hasn't watched it, watch it, and if you have, you'll see it. I don't know why, I always just saw it as needing to happen in a urinal, and so then that's kind of why we start there, and like you worked with Emma on like kind of collaborating on that.
Yeah,
and, like,
that was so great, and she popped in and we went to a studio and just directed her, like she'd said it, like 20 different times or something, and it was so phenomenal, and she was doing it in like these different ways, but I just wanted it to sound like her mix of like exasperation, humour, but then this like really quite sincere like experience and the idea of kind of this cross-generational like understanding between women of like, oh my god, aren't they such losers, as per the amazing Rebecca Shaw article headline. So having that like over Tom in like the bathrooms with all these like,
which was a really hard, because like you're kind of lucky you weren't in that scene. It was really really tiny tight like toilet, like it was really hot. The shot where they're like looking at their phones, like we had a camera pinned to like literally the urinal.
Oh my god.
And it was really really tight, but and all the actors in there were just like so. They embodied what they needed to.
Yes.
They just got into the zone.
Yeah. Like, we need to get to Harvey's scene as well. Like, he did such a phenomenal job. There I am. Woo. My big scene.
Poor Tom. I love this.
Harvey was so excellent at just being so horrible, but then he is the sweetest, like funniest guy, and he was making everyone laugh all day.
I know.
And then him having to get into my face, and he was like whispering horrid things like in character, which is really like, it took both him and Tom actually in the scene later on the stairs as well. I meant to be lip syncing the entire time in that. And Tom was just so good that I was, and I just kept stopping, and so it just ended up being like a straight acting scene, because he would be going like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
he got so into it. I was even watching it being like, this is great, but also like, ooh.
And the one thing that he did made me laugh was when we'd done the take like 7 times or something, and then he went like, you're always in the way, and it's like, that was just so funny because I am always in the way, because every time you come up these stairs, here I am, and I'm meant to get in your way. That's great as well.
I know.
Tom.
Yeah. And Harvey's look there is just
so brilliant. Oh, the boys were cracking me up so much in this boardroom scene. This scene was like kind of a breaking point of the tension between the guys, really, and you told Harvey to go and like bark at Tom, and it's not in it, but there's this amazing scene that didn't make it in. That's Tom and Harvey like trying to out alpha each other, where they're like, like really puffing their chest,
just like cracked. It was cracked both.
Yeah, and then after really that, like everyone went nuts, like everyone went insane.
Which you need, I think, because I think like you sort of, with these kind of things, you put people through like quite a tight schedule in a day, and then you sort of like have to like read the room, and
because you don't want to come out being like a complete weirdo.
Yeah,
exactly. The barking was so funny, and Harvey was so good at it.
So good at it.
And earlier on in the day when we were doing the shot in the where the lip sync shot where I'm in the background in the boardroom, and I didn't hear you say this, but you went to Harvey, you were like, go and bark at go up to Paris and bark in her face, and Harvey just goes, "Whoo!" And I just like I couldn't. I was I felt so bad.
So great, and it was just like I was like, okay, it's too early for the barks.
That was one of the only times that I broke the whole day. These are gorgeous as well.
Yeah, these are like our first shots of the day. So really nice. And
those like lip sync shots, and the guys were really pushing me around. They were being really gentle at first, and then you were like, no, like go, you should stop. Like just knock her around a bit. Yeah. It got to a point where they were really like, you know, knuckling me around a little bit, and there was.
And this was like half an hour into the meeting.
That was the first scene I shot all day. It was so great. There also that blue dress is also by Borexia, which is wonderful and very cute and very like very like Mad Men inspired, little preppy moment. Yeah. But I love that I love that Everywoman is very colourful and fun, and like, you know, she's the little like sunshine in this office of losers. Also kind of a like almost like our narrator kind of. Yeah.
This really came from like the Macbeth stuff. So we sort of like wanted to give that kind of like
the week previously I'd been like crawling around in my room, like kind of watching Catherine Hunter's like performance, then like making note of certain shapes that she made, and analysing them. I'd be like, why does that look so disconcerting? Because she's not actually doing that much, like in terms of her, like it's not like parts of what she does is like full on contortion.
One of the things that we'd been looking at was like the way that sometimes, you know, the camera would move in sort of Macbeth things. So that kind of like, I'm just there like screaming in Ciaran's ear, being like, move it now. For like Paris's weird movement, and then you get into a rhythm and you're sort of like. Yeah,
and we did this whole pass where I was like doing all these incredible, like janky, like incredibly like disconcerting movements, which was so fun, and lip syncing the whole time. I just kind of acted very possessed and unsettling.
To me, this feels very like Hitchcock times, like Bergman, which is just where I want to be.
Where we wanted to be in the first place. When I got out of the Everywoman costume, which is very like, that's very much a character. Like it's not, I don't really dress like that, and I don't really have makeup like that. And I got into the patriarchy, and I was like, I feel so myself.
You really felt like felt your confidence in it, and it was so.
When they put the white makeup on, I didn't have my brows bleached. Like, and when they put the white makeup on me, and Emma Regan, who does my makeup, she pretty stick my brows and like do it kind of, you know, almost like drag, and I was like, this looks amazing. So then I like bleached my brows the next week. Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah, that was the nasty push. Yeah. This sort of stair sequence was kind of, I think it's, what is the line in the song?
They told him it's a staircase, it's a tower. And this idea of like the fantasy of believing that you can climb to the top.
And so I just thought this kind of corporate staircase, and then there's this scene from Mad Men where like Don and Roger go out for a really bad like meal, and then they struggle up the stairs, and I was like, okay, there we go. Got the scene.
Perfect.
Exactly. And so I wanted to make it like corporate but a bit dated, and just this repetition angle.
It's just a bit sad, like you wouldn't be amiss like eating a meal deal on one of those.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Like we would go down to the bottom of the stairs and be like, okay, you need to be sort of like, you've just come out of the dream now, you're sort of mid-level, enthusiastic but not angry yet, and he could just like modulate like so quickly between anger,
I thought that as well. Great. Like he was really just like switching like a light into different spaces in his head. It was really
interesting when he was switched, when he would go into angry, like the way his body moves and his back. So I was like, I need a shot of his back to go into our dog's, like kind of turning him into a dog.
Yeah, and there's like that physicality that feels like this, I don't know, like horror metamorphosis of man to dog, and it's like throughout the music video he becomes kind of more aggressive but also more submissive to this higher power of patriarchy. Because we had spoken about doing having like an older man, but we realised quite quickly that it had to be a younger man because it needs to be relevant and it needed to reflect like crises of masculinity that we're witnessing right now. Good Boy needed to serve as like someone that young men could relate to in like their pursuit of power and of money, and like watch that fail, you know. And Tom, I just think, plays an anti-hero really well. I think he plays corruption really well. He never plays it like there's like a straight intrinsic like evil.
No.
You know, it's very much you want to root for him.
Yeah.
And like
and that's what we wanted. Like we wanted, you know, in the start for him to feel like this character who's like left out, and I think he so gives that with his sort of lovely mirror shots and things like that.
And he took the subject matter so sensitively as well, because we knew we wanted it to be satirical, but it would have been really, really easy to like have it go way too far into like the comedy or like the downtreading of the character. He like really was like a stake in the ground of making sure that the message will not be like misconstrued.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I was really appreciative for.
It was sort of all about like getting that sense of kind of like fracturing rage and like, you know,
I love that part where he just sits down.
Yeah,
as well.
and the
like,
way he sort of pulls himself up, and it was just like that kind of, I suppose the like repetition was just to get that idea of kind of like, I don't know, there's something about that sort of like male anger where it's just like it's building up, it's kind of corrosive, and so it was all just kind of getting it in the edit because we literally just have a staircase. And, you know, there wasn't that many flights of stairs.
Well, also like the stairs, the salt water, they're both a metaphor of like a vicious cycle, basically. You're not gonna have your thirst quenched if you drink salt water. You're not gonna reach the top if you're just like perpetually climbing stairs. And having him like bump into the Everywoman like en route, like in this liminal office space. And she, like, in his mind, she is interrupting his climb to the top, but like his climb to the top is like an arbitrary endeavor that he is just perpetually going to continue doing and never receive, you know, like power through. I thought it was shot really beautifully. It was done very well. This is like the splintering of his like ego and insecurity and everything in this moment, really. And I love how like now he's like in the shot as well, he's kind of above everyone else as well.
One of the early references when we were talking with him was there's this scene in Twin Peaks where like this guy just kind of is possessed and he's just like, the image, he just kind of like, he basically like this. I think once you get like actors and like a whole ensemble cast, which all of you were here, to just like go wild, it's kind of on us to not overdo it, and we have to like capture you rather than you performing like 20 times for us. And so that's when you have to like work with a DP that, like when you want them to capture the madness, they need to know which bit of the scene is the madness. There's
a moment where I knew you wanted me to sing into Tom's face as well, because then we have that shot like for the start of the bridge where I'm in direct conversation with him, kind of for the first proper time, like in the whole video, which is like the "you fool, I've played you." You know,
it was like a weird sensation where I was like, "Oh, this is what was in my dream last night," and it kind of everyone I think was a bit shocked when they saw how it escalated, but it was kind of exactly what I wanted to happen. You just can't. Sometimes you can't find a reference for it before you do it.
I mean, like.
Yeah, like it's great. Even like when you pause on it, it's just.
It's this. I just love this shot as well. Also, and like Phoebe took some gorgeous photos, and that's how we ended up with the wonderful cover art that we have for the single now.
How did you find working with dogs? Because like that.
It was like everyone. I'm really not bothered by dogs. They would sit still until they were told, and then like when they're pulling is when they've been told to pull, and. So I just had my heels like dug in and was like basically leaning backwards while these big dogs were like barking. And
I remember like when we were prepping it and the handlers were telling us like, you know, they're strong.
I've never worked with trained animals before, but they would just sit and chill. To be fair, they weren't even pulling very much. It was just they were barking, so it really does look like they are. And they're moving a lot, but I just wanted to like not let go of the thing. But yeah. Where he just goes straight to the camera. That's so great. And I didn't notice that he'd done that until you sent me the like edit, and I was like,
it's very. That was I remember when we were sending it over to Tom, and I was like, Is this shot gonna stay?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there it is.
And I love this bit was just so great because it kind of tied in with this sort of like realisation on his face.
Right, and he's got a tail between his legs, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then we went outside, so we did this like chronologically afterwards.
This was right, and I just love Harvey's face here as well.
Yeah.
And there's just an amazing bit coming up with John and with Johnny.
Yeah.
With the whole chase sequence where it just does look like they look so menacing.
They were so menacing. Because there's bits in it like where you can find a reference, like say like our kind of Mad Men stuff, and then there's bits where you're like, I've seen men in suits in the wilderness, but I've not seen feral men in suits in the wilderness where I felt scared by them. And I think adding you in as like your strange like character just shifted the balance, so it kind of...
This is really like the place where patriarchy then kind of like moves on, and it's just like a spirit in the ether because it's sunken, you know, the damage is done. Like Tom is no longer on that, you know, precipice of like maybe he will be radicalized, maybe he will turn into like part of the problem. Because of like labour and the themes of labour, they would say like, well, men have to do this, men have to do this, men do this and this, and they would just give me a comprehensive list of all of the causes, all of the things that are caused by patriarchy. And Good Boy has been written to be like, your fight is not with me. You are serving a higher power by treading on women and by denying their experience, and that higher power is then in turn like oppressing you. I actually showed this video to Jim, my MD, finished at the end, and he went, well, if there was any confusion about what the message of the song was about, like that's taking care of it, which was like the perfect thing for like obviously like a trusted like male friend in my circle to say. A great deal of like songs I've been writing are really inspired by Elle Hooks' work, and she writes about men with such love and just this like real earnest to like show them, be like, please, like please understand, like, we don't have a fight, you're starting one and perpetuating it, and you are suffering as well. You know, this is all of the feelings that then led to Good Boy coming out. I just think it's so rare to have like a piece of visual art that like, without being like a real like word for word illustration that's quite unimaginative, that encapsulates like the meaning of a song quite as much, because I think we knew that it was so important to not sort of like let it fall from the edge of the knife, really.
This is one of my favourite shots.
Pelting it through.
This is like me being like, maybe I should direct like a James Bond.
I think you should.
But like a kind of
Tom
like,
Blyth, James Bond.
I mean,
I love this bit under the bridge.
This bit was really funny because I remember turning to the guys and being like, there's nettles there, you don't have to like go under. And then I just turned and like they were all like lined up and ready to just roll, and then poor Johnny like
poor Johnny fell.
But it's great for a transition
because it's
works
perfect.
really well.
It's so good. But like the urgency of the way they're coming underneath. Because I also wasn't here, and then Tom came back and he was like dusting himself down. I was like, what were you doing? He was like, I was up a tree. He was just like, I just really feel like he'd climb a tree.
I know, he said that to me, and I was like, are you joking?
How the fuck did he get that high up?
He scanned the whole area, found this tree, got up. We were like, get the camera down, just like filmed it, and then I think I said to the guys like, your dogs, or something as simple as that, and then they started jumping. That's my favourite. Like,
that's my favourite shot. But that moment just before, when he looks down, you see that he's kind of like a little boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this,
this was one of those classic. It was like Tom was actually supposed to be in his taxi. I was thinking, I'd love for him to come upside down somehow, and then we have an amazing STEADICAM operator who I've worked with before, and I was kind of like, I'm sure I can just tell him, just turn the camera upside down and something will work out. Like,
it couldn't have worked out better with like that movement and the way, like, he just is so like...
He just follows you, didn't he? He just like, if you did that, he would kind of respond.
He's such an observant actor, and he's like water. Like, he just moves, you know, so well. And that's it. That's the whole thing. If you enjoyed it, we've been sort of dying to talk about it anyway, because I feel like we've not had a debrief. As well about everything that we felt worked amazingly. I hope you have enjoyed watching the music video. I feel like it's honestly one of the most special things that I've ever made attached to my music. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you so much.